When I was at Biola, I had a professor explain to me, we were in a theology class, and he said, I am not teaching you all of these aspects of theology to give you bullets for your gun. Like, because we go in and we meet someone who doesn't know Jesus, and we pull out our theology gun and
Truth.
yeah, exactly. And we strip that person of everything they believe.
Mm.
And yet we leave them with nothing because we've done it in such a graphic and brutal way. They don't want what we have. And we've robbed them of what they already have. So they're left empty handed. How do we change the way that we deliver truth? And the Lord really challenged me with that in the years that I worked in the retail industry. I was working closely with, clothing and cosmetics and that whole industry. I had a lot of people living lifestyles that were very different than what I, knew to be, true or what God wanted for them. And I even ran into some that were like, well, I go to church and, God loves me and I love God. And we would have conversations, and the Lord really challenged me in those years to be able to have honest conversations where sometimes I'd be working in a corner and someone would just start talking to me or asking questions or sharing about their life. And the Lord was like, are you going to do it in a way that honors who this person is that I've created? And are you going to deliver truth in a way that you don't compromise what you believe, but you do it in a way that's accessible and loving and says, hey, I still see you. I'm not going to devalue you as a person because you're not here yet. And I think that's where the long suffering comes in, because it's like we want that instant grad. Well, let me shoot you with my truth gun and poof, you're gonna know Jesus, and then I'm gonna feel comfortable in the room with you. And a lot of times it calls us to be uncomfortable, to sit in it with someone who it may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may take 5 years. We don't know what the journey for them will be, but are we willing to, even if we deliver it in small doses, deliver it in a way that's gentle and kind and loving? And so much of it is not what we say, it's what we do.
Yeah.
I've learned that too. Like, so much of it isn't what I can say to change your mind, but how I can love you into a place where you feel Jesus and go, wow, what's that? I need that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on how you define truth. Are we talking this is correction? Are you just talking about what we believe, to somebody? And is this person a believer or are they not a believer? And my first thought would be, have they given you permission to bring any level of correction or accountability? I think so. I think it's really important that in our relationships, we give permission to each other to hold that space and to be that person. And I also think that it's not our job to bring conviction to anyone who it doesn't walk with Jesus or believe, hasn't confessed their faith in Jesus. I think that there's curiosity, sharing what we believe or sharing our perspective or our own convictions, but never, you need to believe like this, you're doing it wrong, you need to do it like me. And again, when it comes to, our fellow believers, have they given you permission? I think is really important.
I used my iPad to take notes on some of these questions, and I wrote get permission and give permission. There's a handful of people. I mean, a handful of people, not 10 or 15 or 20, or just because I know you doesn't mean you have the right to come and call me out. And just because I know you, I don't have the right to just walk over to you and call you out. Because truth requires relationship. And so I have in my mind who are the folks in my life, my friends, my family members, who I've given permission to, and I'm honest. Hey, I need you to. Sometimes I'll even ask, give me some feedback. What do you see? What are my blind spots? And then I'll get permission. Now, it's not like, hey, can I get your permission to share something with you? Like, the other person really has no opportunity other than to say, yeah, you have permission. Right? You have to have permission in advance.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to try to get permission in the moment. So getting permission and giving permission and having a handful of people where you have that mutual accountability and relationship. I would also say, we're talking about friendship, but like, I think about parenting. I think about marriage. I think about my parents. Your grown children. I mean, these are just your boss, your employees, your coworkers. All these, like, to speak the truth in love is not just something that we should consider in terms of a believer to a non-believer, but all of our relationships, and figure out where in the pendulum, how much truth and how much love. And Jesus came in and he was full of truth and full of grace. So what does that look like? Because if we're all one or the other, then we're, full of truth, we're just mean. Yeah. Full of love, we're just passive. And we've got to figure out that beautiful balance of the two.
Yeah, I would add to everything that's been said. Does it edify? Does what is what you're going to speak, does it edify? Verse 29 of Ephesians 4, Paul says, let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth, but if there is any good word for edification according to the need of the moment, say that, so that it will give you grace to those who hear.
Before you say whatever you're going to say, the Passion Translation in the Message devotional Bibles refer to these words as gifts. Is what I'm about to say a gift to the other person?
Yeah. I mean, that's huge, because we're talking about, you said the truth, it's not bullets for your gun. We're talking about permission. So in the odd instance, again, I'm a fixer, right? So if somebody comes to me with a problem, or even if I see somebody doing something, like, I want to fix that, and sometimes, and I'm very not careful. Okay, how do you say it? Very brute. Is it brute? I don't know. And I'm not careful. I'm not gentle. There you go. I'm not gentle. And I'm not gentle with my words sometimes. Yeah, there you go. That, but also with my words. Shouts out to my Mexican mom that raised me. She's not gentle with her words. Anyway, yeah, she started to be at 60 years old.
Process.
I can tend to be not gentle with my words, and when I've tried to be well-meaning in a lot of things, but it comes off as in judgmental or angry, and instead of edifying them, I've torn them down. So I now filter everything. If somebody has given me, like Casey was saying, and you guys said, permission to really speak into, to them as friends, and really, like, if they're asking for my feedback, I'm going to give my feedback and my thought on it. But when it comes to somebody that doesn't have that, relational equity with me, and I don't have it with them, I'm always going to look to see, what is this going to, like, is this going to edify them? And that for sure goes into as well people that I encounter, or that don't have people at church or outside of church. Is what I'm gonna say gonna edify them, and is it gonna and is, because by edifying, like, right, or by saying something in that moment that's edifying to them, it does give you that grace with them. So yeah, that's how I filter that when we talk about, speaking the truth in love. It's like, yeah, is this going to edify them or tear them down?
Yeah.
And that kind of, I filter that to that.
I think a great litmus test for that is, how would you feel on the receiving end of your comment?
Yeah.
Like, if you gave yourself that feedback, or someone gave it to you, how would you walk away
It's good.
feeling?
Hey, thanks for watching or listening to Not Just Sunday. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend so we can help as many people experience God every day.
Not just Sunday.